The 3-in-1 Smart Car and IoT Learning Kit from SunFounder is a hands-on, all-included electronics kit that is perfect for anyone who wants to learn how to master the Arduino. The kit comes with an Arduino, 22 different sensors and modules, breadboards, jumper wires, and everything else you need to build a bunch of fun and interesting projects. Learn about robotics by building a remote-controlled smart car that can be controlled with an infrared remote controller, or drive on its own and avoid obstacles or follow a line. Learn about the Internet of Things with a project that lets you monitor the temperature, humidity, and light level of a room from an app on your smartphone. And build a plant monitor that tracks the temperature, humidity, light intensity, and soil moisture, and displays it on your smartphone so you can keep your plants watered remotely. It's a super cool kit, and I had lots of fun building all the projects in it. So click the link in the description below to order the kit from SunFounder. In this video, we're going to learn about functions. We'll see what functions are, how to use them, and how to write your own. We've seen a few different functions already. For example, digital write and digital read are functions. Functions are the code of your program that get things done. All functions have an input and an output. Inputs are the information you give the function. The function performs an action on the input, then outputs a result. For example, consider the function x equals y squared plus 1. If we input y equals 3, the function does the math and outputs x equals 10. Some functions, like this one, return numeric values. Another function that returns a value is the digital read function, which returns the voltage state of a pin, either high or low. Other functions don't return values, but perform physical actions. For example, the digital write function switches the voltage state of a GPIO pin to either high or low, and the tone function generates a square wave with an adjustable frequency. Functions are written with their return type, followed by the function name. The return type of the function is the data type of the value the function returns. So if the function returns an integer, the return type of the function is int. With functions that don't return any values, the return type is called void. This type of function should look familiar, because the setup and loop functions both have a void return type. They don't actually return any values. Inside these curly brackets is where the function's code goes. You can put any valid Arduino code in here. Once you have your function written, you're going to want to use it, of course. Using a function is called a function call, or calling a function. To call a function, all you need to do is type the function name with open and closed parentheses and a semicolon. I'm calling this function in the loop section, but you can call functions in the setup section too. Right now, this function isn't very useful. We haven't given it any inputs, and there's no code to define what it does with those inputs. Giving a function an input is called passing it an argument. When we pass arguments to a function, we're sending it the inputs it needs to perform its task. Remember the digital write function? The digital write function needs two pieces of information to work: the pin number and the mode. Pin and mode are called parameters. Parameters are the types of data the function takes as an input. An argument is the actual value you provide it. Say we want a digital write pin 10 high. Pin and mode are the parameters, but 10 and high are the arguments. You'll know which arguments to pass a function if you write it yourself. But if you're dealing with built-in Arduino functions and you don't know what parameters to use, the Arduino reference pages will tell you. If you're working with functions in third-party libraries, check the documentation for the library or look at the code inside the library files. Now, not every function takes parameters. With some functions, like the milliseconds function, all you need to do is call them and they'll return a value. Okay, so how can we make this empty function do something? As a simple example, let's make it print a number to the serial monitor. Normally, we would just use a serial print inside the loop section. But one of the benefits of functions is that you can reuse them. You might not always want to print the same number, so let's use a variable instead. Now we need to declare x in a way that lets the function use it. To do that, we enter the data type and variable name inside the parentheses here. Now, to use the function, we call it inside the loop by writing the function name followed by a semicolon. Then we pass the function an argument. Let's say we want to print the number 10. Then we just have to put 10 in here. Okay, there it is. Now let's try something different. Let's write a function for blinking an LED. Then use that function to blink 2 LEDs. The function will take an argument for the LED pin number, and another argument that will set how long the LED stays on and off. Let's start by writing the function. The function will just be blinking LEDs, so it's not going to return anything. So the return type can be void. Let's name it blink LED. Before we define the parameters, let's write the code to blink the LEDs. We'll need a digital write. Instead of passing an actual pin number to digital write, let's use a variable called pin. And we'll start the blinking with a high voltage. Then we need to delay. Let's use a variable inside the delay function too. Now we need another digital write to the same pin. But now we write it low. And we finish it with another delay. So now we have two variables in this function, the pin number and the delay duration. When we call this function, we'll want to be able to define values for these variables. In other words, we want the ability to pass arguments to the function. So we need to tell the function which parameters it should take. We do that in the parentheses up here. The parameters are the pin variable and the duration variable. So we need to declare them both and put the data type before each one. They're both ints, so I'll write int pin, separate them with a comma, and then write int duration. So when we call this function somewhere else in the sketch, the first parameter will be the pin number, and the second parameter will be the duration. Now let's write the loop section where we're going to call this function. To call the blink LED function, all we need to do is write the function name, followed by open and close parentheses and a semicolon. We're going to blink 2 LEDs, so let's use the same function twice. Okay, now we need to give these functions some arguments. We define this function to take 2 parameters, the pin number and the delay duration. We'll do that in a second, but first let's write the setup section, because we still need to set the LED pins as outputs. Let's connect the LEDs to digital pins 9 and 10. So we'll use pin mode with pin 9 for the first argument, and output as the second argument. Then we'll use pin mode with pin 10 as the first argument, and output as the second argument. Okay, so now pins 9 or 10 are set as outputs. Now we can go back to the two blink LED functions and enter the arguments. When we define the blink LED function, we said the first argument should be the pin number. The first LED will be connected to pin 9, so let's put a 9 here. We said the second argument should be the blink delay, so let's put 500 milliseconds here. The second LED will be connected to pin 10, so let's use this blink LED function to control that pin. Let's blink this LED on and off every 1000 milliseconds. Okay, so now what's going to happen in the sketch? First, the setup section will be executed, where pins 9 and 10 are set as outputs. Then the loop section gets executed. The first line in the loop section is this blink LED function. When the sketch encounters this, that's a function call. So it comes down here to where the blink LED function is defined. First, it sees that we define some parameters: an int variable called pin, and an int variable called duration. So the sketch takes the number 9 from the first argument up here and stores it in the pin variable down here. Then the sketch sees the int duration variable, so it takes the second argument from the function call, which is 500, and stores that in the duration variable. Now it continues on executing the code in the function. The first line is a digital write to the pin variable. 9 was passed to the function's pin variable, so this will write pin 9 high. Then we have a delay with the duration variable inside the parentheses. Since 500 was passed to the function's duration variable, the delay will be 500 milliseconds. Then we digital write the pin variable, pin 9 again, this time with a low voltage. Next we delay for 500 milliseconds, the value stored in the function's duration variable. Now that all of the code in the function has been executed, the sketch exits the function and returns to the next line of code back in the loop section. The next line in the loop is the second blink LED function. So the sketch now executes this blink LED function, passing pin 10 to the pin variable and 1000 milliseconds to the duration variable. So the LED connected to pin 10 will be written high, then delayed for 1000 milliseconds, then it'll be written low, and delayed for another 1000 milliseconds. Let's upload this and see if it works the way we want it to. I have an LED connected to pin 9 and an LED connected to pin 10. The LED attached to pin 9 blinks first. On for 500 milliseconds, then off for 500 milliseconds. Then the LED attached to pin 10 blinks. On for 1000 milliseconds, then off for 1000 milliseconds. So it's working. Okay, that was a nice introduction to functions. We're going to see a lot of different functions in the coming lectures. But in the next video, we're going a step further and learning about classes and objects. SunFounder is my go-to source for sensors, modules, and other parts for the Arduino and Raspberry Pi. They have a huge selection of STEM, robotics, and IoT kits, and lots of useful sensors and modules. Every product has an online tutorial with wiring diagrams and example code. They also offer free shipping on all orders, with no minimum. Give them a try at www.sunfounder.com next time you need to order some parts.